When they originally threw the flag here, I thought, watch 97. That to me was what I thought the penalty was. I mean, he spears Chase Claypool on the ground after he's down for a full count. Watch this. I mean, that to me was where I thought the penalty was. I was surprised by that. But either way, they both should have been flagged. I mean, the broader picture is the Browns were undisciplined and dysfunctional last night. I mean, they were. I mean, the penalties, the way they played the game, this was a third down. The Browns were going to get off the field and force the Steelers to kick a long field goal. The Steelers then went down and scored a touchdown. I mean, that's just, inexcusable and just speaks of a team that just does dumb crap.
Sounds like that's your first pick for Goats in a Bad Way.
Sure.
Is that your first pick?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Ahead.
I'll take that. Yes, I'll take that. That's just dumb. I mean, I really want to add the way the Cleveland Browns looked in general last night. But, I'll put it on Stefanski for his team just looking undisciplined, not ready to play last night. Nothing about it. Again, I understand they were crushed because they got knocked out of the playoffs the night before. But, to just show no fight and really have no plan of attack on the offensive side of the ball. And I know Nick Chubb, there was a rib issue and all that, but still, Deontay Johnson's good. Run the ball with him. Force the issue there. It's the worst run defense in football. None of it made sense. I mean, it was all bad from Cleveland last night, so I'm going to give the head coach the most credit for that one.
I remember when Stefanski was hired, you spoke out about it aggressively and negatively, and then when he was coach of the year, you had no choice but to swing the pendulum in the other direction. You went so far that you picked the Browns to win the Super Bowl this year, or at least get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And now the pendulum goes back the other way. Watch, next year they'll go 17-0 and ultimately 20-0 and win the Super Bowl. But, hey, like we said earlier, a lot of soul-searching needs to be done at every level of the Browns organization because this year, given the expectations, and they're always judged, each team, each coach, each program, in light of what the expectations were going into the season, and they were very high in Cleveland, and they failed miserably. Speaking of failing miserably, I'll go with Joe Judge. He made a bad situation worse with his "this isn't a clown show." I generally say that if you have to say out loud that you're not a clown show, you might be a clown show. And, it's not the first time this year we've heard one of these things from Joe Judge. The fish stinks from the head down. And he may be talking his way out of a job in New York, and they may ultimately decide to press the reset button and hire a GM who will then fire the coach and hire a new head coach. He's acting like a guy who is not secure in his position, and that tells me that maybe he isn't secure in his position. And that performance on Sunday against not a good Bears team, a Bears team that is teetering toward a potential reset. They made the Bears look like the 85 Bears, and that is a difficult thing to do with this Bears team, especially since Justin Fields didn't play and Andy Dalton got the start. So, Joe Judge, my first pick.
Yeah, I understand that. I get that totally. It was a bad look. It was a horrible performance. They never had a chance. The game was literally over. By the fifth or sixth play of the football game, you went, oh, my gosh, the game's over. The Giants have no chance. You knew that. And that's rare in the NFL. That's where it was that bad, definitely. All right, my second pick, I think I'm going to go with Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo, a little, combination here. And specifically, I think because of the 3rd and 27 play, that's what I'm going to look at. I just don't understand the logic behind it. Let's leave our guy man-to-man on a guy who's already torched us for over 200 yards, and we've seen that we can't cover him man-to-man. So let's put him out on the island one more time. That makes no sense, let alone the situation of the football game at that moment. 31-all, right? There's a little over 3 minutes left in the football game. You hold the Bengals to a field goal, and that's a win for your football team. Let them have the 10-yard completion. Why were they going for the jugular to try to knock them out of field goal range? At least that's what it looked like they were doing. That's where I don't understand it. It's a win situation if you held them to the field goal and you give Patrick Mahomes the ball back with 2 minutes and 56 seconds. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. It's a win. You got the ball with Mahomes down 3 and 2 timeouts at that time, maybe 3, and you're going to have a chance to go win the football game or at the very least tie it. That's one I don't understand in the game management of that one specifically.
It was an amazing day after 8 straight wins by the Chiefs to see the lack of adjustments on both sides of the ball because their offense got shut down in the second half. Their defense never adjusted. That is not an encouraging sign as we get closer and closer to single elimination high-stakes football. Next one for me, I'm going to go with everyone involved in the AB situation. And let's just call it Antonio Brown, but I'm not ready to put the full blame on Antonio Brown. But obviously what he did, whatever the explanation that led to that point, it was a highly unconventional, unprecedented act that didn't keep the Buccaneers from winning the game, but it surely didn't make it any easier having that distraction and whatever lingering buzz there was, Chris. So everyone involved in the Antonio Brown situation, beginning with Antonio Brown, that was just a stunner, and it continues to resonate through the NFL. All right, round 3, goats in a bad way, week 17. Chris, who you got?
All right, I think, I've thought about, Trevor Lawrence a little bit because of some of the struggles we saw there again this week in New England, but I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go back to another coach here. I'm going to go to the Jets and Robert Saleh and the way they managed the end of the football game. First off, I know Zach Wilson didn't do the right thing apparently as far as running the quarterback sneak. There's supposed to be another play that's called there. I don't know how that went down. But either way, that of course reflects on the head coach to make the message simple. And then, of course, up by 4 points and not protecting the goal line. Like, again, let the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get a 5 or 8 yard completion. Let them run out more time. They have no timeouts. But instead, playing a little bit more of aggressive defense and give a chance to Brady to throw it into the end zone one-on-one versus safety. And that just didn't make any sense.
Okay, I don't have much time to make my pick, and maybe that's a good thing because I'm going with Tua Tagovailoa, and I'll just say this to Tua and on out there. Every time I looked up at the game on Sunday, the debacle between the Dolphins and the Titans in Tennessee after Miami won 7 in a row, Tua was doing something that an NFL quarterback shouldn't do.
No, exactly.
Including, but not limited to, cranking his arm back and having the football go that way when the arm went that way. Not that that's unprecedented, but that's maybe a sign that it's time for you to break the spell and think about better days.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.